Good afternoon. This is Danny with Sandy Destinations. Got some cruise news for you today. Three stories for you. First, 132 night world cruise sells out in just under 3 hours. And then another one, COVID related. Guests disembark after COVID cases on a Dream cruise ship. And cruise lines are set to begin sailing from Boston to New York. Before we get started on these stories, I would appreciate it and thank you in advance if you'd go ahead and subscribe to my channel here and hit the bell button so you know whenever anything new is coming in. Try to do these every day for you. So let's get started by talking about the 132 night world cruise. There's no doubt that people are ready to go cruising once again, and that includes the record-breaking 132 night world cruise from Regen Seven Seas Cruises. It's now the third year running with the cruise line's world voyage selling out in record time, showing that demand is strong in the years to come as the industry makes a comeback. Regen Seven Seas Cruise has broken its own opening day booking record with its 132 night 2024 World Cruise. The voyage on Seven Seas Mariner sold out at approximately 11 a.m. on July 14th, 2021. So yesterday, after opening its booking at only 8:30 a.m. yesterday morning. The president of Regen Seven Seas said, with a wait list longer than we have ever experienced, we know that the 2024 World Cruise was going to be popular, but this outstanding response has surpassed all expectations and without a doubt our strongest World Cruise launch day ever. Remarkably, we found that interest hasn't come from the past guests, and we have seen a strong increase in first-time travelers with Regent, many of whom have been keen to book the higher-end suites. Seven Seas Mariner will depart on January 6, 2024 from Miami. The Epic World Cruise will include 66 ports of call across 31 countries and four continents. Guests will have access to 442 free shore excursions and 61 World Heritage sites, which is the most the cruise line has ever included. The voyage will also include 12 overnights in ports and transits through the Panama Canal and Suez Canal. For sure, it is a dream cruise that will set guests back from $73,499 for a deluxe suite up to $199,099 for a master suite. And those prices are per guest. The voyage will span close to 5 months, covering 34,500 nautical miles. Seven Seas Mariners is a 48,075 gross ton ship with a guest capacity of 700, along with a crew of 445. In September 2020, Regen Seven Seas Cruise breaking its record of Mariner 2003 World Cruise, which departs in January 2023 and lasts for 143 nights. All right, now we have the COVID story. Guests have disembarked the World Dream cruise ship in Singapore after a COVID case that's been dealt with per protocol. A 40-year-old passenger was confirmed to be positive with COVID-19 on board Dream Class World Dream this week. Despite the strict measures the cruise line in Singapore operated under, the guest was found to be positive during the 3-night voyage from Singapore's Marina Bay Cruise Terminal. The case comes as more and more cruise ships are operating. With the increase of ships sailing, the likelihood of confirmed cases on board is growing as well. Testing was done soon after it became known the guest was a close contact of a person ashore who was confirmed positive. The quick actioning from Dream Cruise speaks volumes about the great job the cruise line has been doing in keeping everyone safe on board. Guests have left the vessel now after being isolated in their cabins for several hours. Test negative on pre-cruise test. Dream Cruises has been operating World Dream in Singapore since November of last year. The passengers who was found to be positive, marks the first occurrence of COVID-19 on board since then. More than 100,000 guests have sailed on board World Dream and Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas between November 2020 and March of this year in Singapore. The number, which is significantly higher now. Dream Cruise tested the 40-year-old passenger before stepping on board the ship and found to be negative at the time. Once the vessel received news that the passenger was a known close contact with a confirmed case ashore, the passenger was isolated and tested again. This test came back positive. Due to the strict measures the vessels have to operate under in Singapore, all guests were confined to their cabins as the vessel returned to port. According to Reuters, the Singapore Tourist Board said that following the direction of the suspected case, the passenger was identified as a close contact to the confirmed case on land and was immediately isolated as part of the onboard health protocols. The infected passengers, 3 traveling companions, tested negative and were isolated until further contact tracing was done. Close contacts will be quarantined. Singapore has allowed cruises to take place around the city-state for 8 months now, and this is the first time a positive case has happened on board. Something that also surprised one of the guests on board. The COVID situation in Singapore seemed largely contained, so yes, a case on a cruise of 1,700 guests seemed a bit rare to happen, especially because there hasn't been a case on cruises to nowhere for months. In December of this year, guests were confined to their cabins on board Royal Caribbean Quantum of the Seas for half a day following a suspected case on board, which proved to be negative. The cruises from the world-famous Marina Bay Cruise Terminal are available to Singapore residents only who have go through the strict testing regimens before they are allowed to board. While on the vessel, the cruise lines have adopted social distancing, mask wearing, and increased sanitation procedures to keep everyone safe. The guests on board World Dream disembarked the vessel late Wednesday night after being confined to their stateroom. And finally, we got the luxury cruise operator Crystal Cruise Line that will start sailing from Boston in August and New York in September of this year. Crystal Symphony will be the company's second vessel to commence operations after Crystal Cruises started operating from the Bahamas at the start of this month with Crystal Serenity. Crystal Symphony will have Boston and New York as home ports, sailing from New York's Manhattan Cruise Terminal and Flynn Cruise Port, Boston. She will be the first vessel to start operating on the northern east coast of the United States since the industry paused more than 16 months ago. Guests who want to sail on board Crystal Symphony will be able to do so starting August 22nd, when the vessel will sail on its first 4 voyages from Flynn Cruise Port, Boston. The 7-day cruise will feature 2 full days and 2 nights in Bermuda, while guests can relax and enjoy the vessel during some sea days as on either end. After the first 4 initial sailings, the vessel will start operating from New York Manhattan Cruise Terminal on September 24th, sailing every Friday for a set of 9 voyages featuring a spectacular New York sail away. Crystal Symphony has initially been scheduled to sail from Argentina and St. Martin round trip, but these voyages have now been replaced with the Bermuda cruises. The cruise line decided to change its itinerary for Crystal Symphony following an increased demand in sailings from the United States, as guests are still either unable or unwilling to travel long distances to join the cruise ship. The president of Crystal stated, as the entire travel industry emerges from the restrictions of the global pandemic, flexibility has been key in reestablishing meaningful experiences for travelers. For cruising in particular, the recent positive development of ships sailing from the U.S. ports has prompted U.S. travelers to show an increased preference for more direct access to luxury cruise options closer to home. As the cruise industry slowly comes back to operations, Crystal Cruises has decided to make the East Coast Bermuda cruises available to guests who have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19 only. The company also operates under its Crystal Clean Plus protocols with increased sanitation, capacity controls, social distancing on board, contactless dining, decreased capacity, and increased health monitoring of all guests and crew. Both guests and crew will also need to adhere to local health and safety guidelines in place of Bermuda. Uh, both Flynn Cruise Ports in Boston and the Manhattan Cruise Terminal executives are eager to see cruising return to the East Coast before the pandemic started. Boston Port served more than 400,000 cruise passengers, which injected more than $100 billion into the local economy. 20 different cruise lines regularly sailed from Boston. The port director there says that they're looking forward to welcome cruise passengers back to this summer and providing an opportunity for New England residents and others to experience Bermuda. Massport and Crystal Cruises are actively working on a port agreement that will align with local and state public health authorities as well as meet the necessary CDC protocols. New York has been a traditional stop off for Port Crystal Cruises, and a port is more than happy to welcome one of the ships back again. Crystal Cruise sailed for the first time earlier this month from the Bahamas with Crystal Serenity, making Crystal Symphony the second Crystal cruise ship to commence operations in America. That's it for today, guys. Again, please subscribe to this page. Also, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me at sandydestinations2019@gmail.com. And if you need any help booking an exciting cruise with all the stuff that's happening nowadays and everything coming back to normal, email me what you'd like and I'll get back with you and see what we can do. Again, until tomorrow, have a great day.